The Garmin Zumo XT. It's been out for about 2 years. I recently picked it up and I figure I make a video, my thoughts, how I put it on the bike, and what I really think about it. I'm a BMW guy, and most people would probably go with the Garmin BMW unit, but I'm not convinced that's the best, and I don't know if they've worked all the little kinks out with it either. If you're on the internet, you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know about you, but I love a good, fashion, slow unboxing. No, I don't. I hate those. All right, let's take a look at what you get in the box. 4 zip ties. More than likely, these are to secure the cabling for the unit, the power cable. So you get black and red. Red goes to positive. I would also note that this does not come with any kind of protection, any kind of fuse. So I would really recommend with this red wire putting it first to an inline fuse and then the battery. Otherwise, you could potentially have a fire on your hands if something gets pinched or happens to this cable. Bit of a magic box in between, taking your 12 volts from the bike and 5 volts for the unit here. Comes with a rubber dust shield protector piece. Don't know if I'm going to be using that. And then this piece here will get inserted into the cradle portion of it. I haven't quite done that yet. And then this gets secured by these little tiny baby screws. And they even provide a small jeweler's screwdriver. Then on the back side, you will have this ball mount, 1-inch ball mount. And that gets mounted with hardware they provide. Then clamped with this smaller clamp. Don't got to use this because this is the standard RAM mount, 1-inch. And then they provide this guy. Fairly universal with the configuration I have it in now with this U-bolt. Pretty much around most bars this will fit. But the other option they have is a bag, you can see, of hardware with some bolts that will then, instead of the U-bolt, you remove that, you would send this bolt through this, and now this gets mounted onto the same bracket or in lieu of the bracket that is holding your clutch or your brake levers on some bikes. I'm thinking this is more of a cruiser application because I was looking at the BMW and that would not work for my bike, but I'm sure there's a lot of different variations out there. So I don't think I'm going to be using this. I have another idea, which I'll get to. I should also mention they provide some crimp-on terminations where most likely you would take to the battery. Don't forget about that fuse. Computer cable. Good old computer cable for updates or passing information back and forth. Standard USB with a old school mini. Paperwork. And the unit itself. Feels nice. Looks nice. I haven't even turned it on or peeled this off. Not yet. We'll get to that. Just after this, we'll get this thing turned on and see how easy it is to use. But looking at the back, you can see where the socket is, the docking port, where it has a little clip up top here, spring-loaded clip where this will get mounted and clips on. Or is that on the bottom? I don't know. I haven't done it yet. But you can see there's a bunch of pins. And you only need 2 to provide it power, so maybe there's other things you could do with this. I'm just not aware of it. We've got a power button, speaker, no other buttons on the sides or the back, and 2 weather sealing flaps. The first flap reveals the USB connection, and the flap above that has a micro SD card. That's what goes in there. And yeah, let's take a look at this and get it turned on. All right, key the Marvin Gaye Let's Get It On song. Oh, yeah. That is very nice. One thing that I have heard out there is this is slightly larger and slightly brighter than the BMW Garmin. Let's tap this power button on. This thing's dead on arrival. All right, I left this plugged in for a little bit. Let's see if this puppy will start. All right, looking good. There it is. Okay. I like English. Should I read this? Probably not. Connect to the Garmin Drive mobile app to access additional features. Oh, okay, let's do that. Alrighty, this will be hard to see using a little GoPro here, but black cabling comes down inside of there, and then I found this really cool I went down that passage right there. I went above this control arm and I zip tied it to some cables in there so it's kept high. And then that comes out right here. It's hard to point and hold the light. Right here's the wire. That's where it comes. So I wanted to keep it away from the engine because you know there's fire and explosions in here and that makes a lot of heat. Comes around to here. This is the little step down, taking 12 volts to 5 volts. This does kind of get hot here. And vibration, we'll see how long this lasts. I'm not sure what kind of quality this is, what kind of reliability. But got the black and red, kind of pushed some excess over here. And then I dropped my fuse right here, little fusible cap, and then to the positive, and then the black to the negative. I might change it in the future and find some kind of ignition wire. You know, for that matter, I probably could have tapped off the cigarette lighter up there, or the DIN power connector, I think they call it. I do know they make a connector. I might do that connector that connects to the factory harness for the nav cradle. I'll drop a video link down below to another YouTuber I saw. He had the BMW part number, so he did a good job kind of lining that out. I ran it directly hot because when I'm at work all day, if I go into a restaurant, if I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna just grab that GPS, you know, right off the, I have all these thoughts as I talk. I'm just gonna grab that GPS right off of the bike. Just, why not, right? I know Tortec makes a really cool locking cradle. It's a couple $100, but this just seems like it's gonna work for me, my opinion. And then I did pick up for $25 this Garmin case. It, you know, kind of a clamshell. It has nice liner inside and all that. So that's kind of my plan. Just jam it in here, take it into the restaurant, whatever I'm doing. And for that matter, give me a chance to look at some of my files in my tracks and share that stuff, and use the Relive app. And there's all these things you can do. So that's how I'm gonna run it for now. Look at the mount on the bike using the half of what came with it as far as the RAM mount. So what I went with is this smaller clamp. RAM does make this on Amazon. I'll drop a link if you're interested. Has a 1-inch ball, but you can see it has a clamp. It has a plastic sleeve for this clamp, and you can kind of already see why I don't like it. But just bouncing around off-road, what have you, I got this clamp pretty darn tight. But by the time you come off of this, let me move it over here. Come off of this, you get here, you get the unit, you're what, how many inches away? That is what you would call mechanical leverage. And, you know, Not my first choice. And I found something on the internet. Let's take a look at that.